Make the ground shake.
Hello YouTube, today I have an interesting video, and it's actually a Bleach video. Yeah, I know, Bleach ended just like a week ago. So the video is about, should have Bleach ended at Aizen's defeat, or should it have just went on like it did and have the Fullbring arc and the 1,000-year Blood War arc. And this is actually part of a new series that I'm doing, which is Bleach discussion videos about every Saturday. Now, I can't guarantee every Saturday, that's why I said about, but you can kind of get the picture. Now, I have a special guest, and if you can't guess who it is, you may guess One Piece Nation or Real to Real Pro, and it is Real to Real Pro or Mark. So why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Hey Snake, hey everybody, always good to be here. This sounds like a really interesting kind of series or Saturday morning kind of series and everything. I'm really interested in it, and hopefully I'll be on more of these to come. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for joining. Now, first thing, I want to let Mark go first since he is the special guest. So, do you think it should have ended at the defeat of Aizen, or do you think it should have continued like it did? So, go ahead.
It's a really interesting question. When you came to me with this topic and you're like, hey, do you want to do something like this? I'm like, you know what? That's a really interesting topic, because the one thing I would really have to say about that is, for me, the Arrancar arc or the entire Aizen fight was what Bleach was kind of leading up to the entire time it was running. I mean, it was the culmination of everything. Not that we knew like the Arrancars very well or anything, but the fights that were happening at that like kind of the climax of the arc with all the captains and like all the like, are they Espada? I can't remember. I fuck up with names. Sorry, I don't want to cuss on this. I know you, but like seriously, like all the Espada and like all the captains, and then Jin and Tosin and Aizen and everyone else is like. There was just so much going on. There was so much kind of connective tissue between one fight and the next that even when Bleach jumps around as it does, it still seems like it still has an impact. We still want to see what other people are doing and how they're fighting and how they're just kind of, this dynamic is, kind of advancing throughout the entire series. And for me, that was like the epitome of Bleach. When Ichigo lost his powers at the end of that arc and everything, I was just kind of fine with letting it go, and I really did for months on end. I didn't actually pick it up until very recently, before this show actually ended, and I thought to myself, like, having read the Fullbring arc and all of the 1,000-year Blood War arc, this is a lot more of the same, but it just doesn't have the same impact, because it wasn't given the amount of time to develop in the same way that the original like beginning of Bleach all the way through the Arrancar arc really did. And I don't necessarily think that that's Bleach's fault. It might be because it got canceled, but that's just my opinion. I feel like it could have ended right there after the defeat of Aizen, and it would have probably been a perfect series.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now, if it did end at Aizen, I would definitely want a better conclusion of the ending, because for me, I felt like that the ending or of the Arrancar arc or the defeat of Aizen, I felt like that the conclusion I got was just like, yeah, Ichigo, he just lost his powers and he's not going to be a Soul Reaper anymore. And I was just like, no, I want more. I want to see something happen. So if that was the ending, I would want a better conclusion. Like, I would want to see the conclusion that we got of the final chapter of Bleach. Maybe, of course, it wouldn't include the 1,000-year Blood War arc and stuff, but, we'd get to see Ichigo's kid, Rukia's kid. We'd get to see all the characters after that, and, at least show that they have some connection instead of being like, oh, well, see you later, I'll see you when I'm dead, or whenever. So it's just like, no, I didn't want that. Unless, like I said, unless there's a good conclusion to it, then I would be perfectly fine with it. If not, screw that, I want the 1,000-year Blood War arc. But we can forget about the Fullbring arc, okay?
He has to get his powers back somehow. Honestly, I did like the Fullbring arc. It was shorter than what I wanted it to be. I thought they should have, kind of sparsed that out a little bit more. even though a lot of people have their own opinions about that, but that's a video for another day, maybe another one of these discussion topics. But in that case, like, what I really want to say from that is I somewhat disagree with the concept of like, oh, well, Ichigo just losing his powers and then it's the end of it. One of the things that connected almost everyone that Ichigo touched throughout the entire series was that Ichigo was stronger than them, and that they had to like kind of try to better themselves in order to be able to protect not only their loved ones, but also just kind of centralized on Ichigo. They wanted to be able to protect him. And the fact that he loses his powers at the end of that arc kind of allows it for like this, at least if it were to end there, it allows for this kind of imagination that now these people, like, you know, Chad and Orihime and Uryu and Rukia and Renji and all the other people are going to now be able to have the power to go ahead and protect the world as it should be. And they give this guy, this like kid who never really wanted all this and never really deserved to have all this stuff happen to him, a chance to, you know, have a break and to live a normal life and everything. And, you know, for what we got from what these people were talking about, these characters, and that's what they wanted, if that's what they wanted, then that would have been a pretty good ending, in my opinion. Now, was that expressed? No, but it was still an interesting kind of, you have to just think about it a little outside the box of what they're actually telling you. And Bleach does that really well. It's one of the reasons I like the entire series. I think that's one of the reasons you like the entire series, and anyone who's listening likes it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the way you put that, I do agree. Now, the part with his powers, I wouldn't really care if he got his powers back or not, but I definitely would want him to still have a connection with Rukia instead of just being, like I said earlier, oh, I'll see you when I'm dead or whatever, you know? Because there were 2 years, almost 2 years. Now, I said 2 years, but it's actually not. It was like a year and 6 months, if I'm correct. Don't hold me on that. Don't hold me on that, okay? But from what I was saying, it was almost 2 years, and Ichigo hadn't seen a thing from Rukia. Yeah, I know that they were watching him and everything like that, but still, it's like, I wanted them, you know, to have a connection still, you know. She shows up in a Gigai, like, what's up, Ichigo, or whatever. You know, they come and visit him every, you know, once in a while, instead of, you know, just being there in the Soul Society, not even visiting him, the guy who freaking defeated Aizen. I mean, like, really, I know in the anime and the manga, because we had the continuation, that we didn't get that, but if we didn't get a continuation, I would want that. If you get what I mean. Are you on the same picture with me?
Oh, no, I absolutely understand what you mean, but I feel like it goes back to basically how the entire series started. I mean, when Rukia first came and she was explaining to Ichigo the kind of the existence of the Soul Reapers or the Shinigami, whatever you want to call them, and how they interact with the world around them, how they go around, they kind of take out hollows and allow them to pass on, or just you know, abandoned souls to go on and just pass on, and all this other stuff. Like, they're very cold to the idea of getting involved and having feelings and just being friends with, you know, mortals, people like Ichigo, Orihime, Udio, and Chad. Like, the thought is like, it's a bittersweet ending for her to leave, in my opinion, and the fact it's like, well, I'll see you when I see you, because it represents in its own right kind of a return to normal after, like, basically however long they were spending together at this point, and how much had changed and how much had come to pass with, you know, getting the Soul Reaper powers, invading Soul Society, and then taking on Aizen. It represented this kind of, you know, culmination or the ending of all this craziness, and things are going to start going back to normal, and people are going to just live out their lives. But Ichigo and Rukia at that moment, when they're talking to each other, in my opinion, can kind of be in this idea that, well, you know, we know the rules here. We're going to be able to see each other. When you get to Soul Society, like, I'll come see you, and you know when you pass on what's to be expected. So it won't be that long, especially for Rukia. And I thought, you know, that in and of itself is like a really interesting ending, in terms of, you know, you don't always get what you want, but it's bittersweet.
I'm actually happy that you have somewhat of a different opinion on this than me, because when I was, you know, I had this thought in my head, which I actually got from you, because of what you said earlier in this video. You said that you were so satisfied with the ending. That's how I got this video idea. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know, if this guy, who is Mark, that's who I mean by this guy. I'm trying to think of words here. Now, okay, I'll try to be serious now. He has this opinion, and I have the opinion that I want Rukia, you know, to be, you know, talk to Ichigo. Now, not with a relationship. I'm for Ichigo and Orihime all the way, okay? Just want to make that clear. But, like, Rukia is, like, 200 years old or something. I'm getting off topic here, but like I was saying, that he has the different opinion, and me, honestly, I would be so salty if that was the ending. Like, he doesn't see Rukia until he dies. Like, I want him to have a connection with him. I know I've said this, but, like, if he doesn't have a connection with him, like, if they don't show up in Gigas, I'm just like, what? Like, why? If we got a conclusion and it just showed Orihime and Ichigo and the rest of the gang, and we didn't get Rukia or any of the Soul Reapers, I would be so salty if that was the ending. Like, I would just, no, like, no, you don't do that to me, Kubo, and I'm glad you didn't. But I honestly, if we did get a conclusion where it was like, you know, everybody, you know, they still were in contact and everything, and we didn't get the Fullbring or the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, then I would be content. If we didn't get that, then I would want the Fullbring arc and the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. And I've kind of just repeated this over and over, but I'm trying to make myself clear here. So that's all I have to say, unless Mark just like has something to say, and then I have something to say too. Like, this could get going for days. So that's all I have to say. But Mark, if you have anything to say it now or forever hold your peace.
You know, I will say one more thing when it comes to all this like madness that we've been talking about, and I know we've gone on a little bit longer than you wanted to, but I think this has been a pretty good discussion so far because you and I did not see eye to eye. But honestly, if I'm going to be a little bit more candid and kind of play devil's advocate to my own theory or my own thoughts and kind of go more towards your view, I think that the Fullbring arc might have been the perfect place to end it. The only place being, and you know, the anime does that, and the reason I say this is because when we watch the ending of how like the Aizen fight ends and Ichigo loses his powers and everyone just kind of, everything I've said so far that I thought is incredibly brilliant, the one caveat to all that is of why it is not a good ending is because that's not Ichigo's character. And if there's one thing that the Fullbring arc really kind of puts in front of your face and just makes, like, screams at you and wants you to realizes Ichigo would not be happy with this ending. And I think in terms of anime, especially anime, but any type of story being more about the journey, people who hate Bleach, it's about the journey anyway, like being more about the journey than it is about the ending or whatever happens to one character or the other. The Fullbring arc really hits that home, that the ending of the Aizen fight is unacceptable, not because of your particular reasons or my particular reasons. It's unacceptable because it's unacceptable to Ichigo. He is not going to allow himself to not be able to protect his loved ones without the power that he used to have. He would figure out a way to bring it back. And that's what happened there. That's how the anime did it. And I feel like, you know, that's probably the best ending that we could have hoped for. But I guess that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, now you said Ichigo wouldn't be happy with it now, or it's out of Ichigo's character, or what you said, I wouldn't be happy with that. Like, alright, you know, I would not be happy with that. Now, I want to say something real quick about the Fullbring arc, and I'm gonna shut up because it's not part of the video, but it was out of Ichigo's character to cry like a baby. Okay, I mean, some people may have liked that scene. Honestly, that is the scene that ruined the Fullbring arc for me. But, like, I don't know. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna shut up.
That's a video for another day. I have various thoughts on that, and I know One Piece does, and everyone else does as well. A lot of people think that it was either brilliant or completely stupid and was not necessary. But definitely another video for another day.
Yeah, definitely, because I don't want to be killed in the comment sections of my video or your video that I'm assuming you're gonna upload this too. So, yeah, like I don't want to be killed, and if I'm gonna be killed, it's gonna be in your comment section. Cause what do you have, like 2,000 subscribers? Like, oh gosh, I may be dead in a week. So, yeah. That's all I got for this video, guys. If Mark wants to say anything else, like I said, go ahead and say it, dude. You got anything?
No, I am completely spent for this topic, but thanks for having me, man.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for joining. Thanks for letting me on your channel and everything, guys. All right. His link will be in the description below. I'm sure all of y'all are subscribed to him anyways, but if you're not, go check out his channel. He does a lot of cool videos, a lot of Dragon Ball, so if you're into Dragon Ball, definitely check him out. But he also does Bleach, so if you're a Bleach tard or a Bleach fan like me, then go check him out, guys. Anyways, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe for more content, guys. Anyways, we are out. Peace.